Hi, this is Linda and Aaron with Traveling Flamingo, and today we're going to take you on a tour of all the dining options available on Princess Cruises. So we'll be looking at specialty dining, what's included. We'll have a conversation about the dress code on Princess, as well as give you some of our tips. So all of that and more coming right up.
So to start things off, we will talk about what's included in your cruise experience with Princess. So included is the main dining room, Horizons Courts Buffet, afternoon tea, Alfredo's Pizzeria, the International Cafe, and room service, along with several smaller dining locations depending on which ship you're at for things like hamburgers and hot dogs on the Lido decks. So you have two options when it comes to dining on a Princess cruise. There's traditional, which is a set time where you can choose either the first or second seating, or you can choose anytime dining. And with anytime dining, you have to prepare to make a reservation day of and get in. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait in a line. And with traditional dining, again, you either pick the first or second seating, and you're generally with the same group of people for the entire cruise. As well, your waiter or maitre d' will stay with you the entire time while you're on that cruise. If you do choose a traditional dining time, you will be in a main dining room. If you choose anytime, they usually have a separate main dining room for anytime diners, so it's not too busy. The main dining rooms have a bunch of different meals that rotate throughout the day and throughout the cruise. They have things like shrimp cocktails, Caesar salads, grilled beef, etc., etc. They also have different appetizers and different desserts, and again, that rotates throughout the cruise. We really enjoyed the good variety of food that we had in the main dining room. We never felt particularly bored, and you can always decide on how much you want to order. So if you want to try two different things on the menu, you're more than welcome to do that. One reminder here is that even though it's not part of the traditional dining times, your breakfast and lunch generally only happens at a certain point in time, depending on which venue you're at, and there's a hard cutoff for that. So if you're trying to get a sit-down breakfast or a sit-down lunch on one of the Princess cruises, you're going to want to watch the Princess Patter to see what time your lunch and breakfast seatings are, so you don't miss them.
Yeah, there was one time we were leaving the sit-down breakfast or the table service breakfast, and people had just arrived, and it was only 2 minutes after 9, and I think it ended at 9, and they were not going to sit them. This dude was mad. So as Aaron said, it is a really hard cutoff. If you're looking for something a little bit more casual, that would be the Horizon Court Buffet. There, they do offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We did find the variety was pretty good, that they did have a lot of fresh fruit, vegetables that were available for you, as well as different cheeses, make your own sandwiches. They also have the pastry shop at the Horizon Court, and we were, or at least I was, very impressed with the dessert options. I definitely might have snuck through there on the way back to our room a couple times. There is a lot of focus on the main dining rooms for dinner, so the dinner at the Horizon Court is not as busy, but breakfast and lunch are the busiest. So we did find we would actually try and avoid there for breakfast because it was just too crazy. And they do offer unlimited tea, coffee, and juice at the buffet.
Two notes as well, the pastry shop and the desserts, they have this great dessert area along with it. That's on the Regal and Royal Princess. Depending on which ship you're on, it may or may not have it. The Island Princess also had a similar dessert area, which was really nice. And lastly, Horizon Court isn't open 24 hours, so you may need to go down to the International Cafe that we'll talk about shortly, and that is 24 hours. So on to afternoon tea. There is a select afternoon tea from 3:30 to 4:30 on most cruises. This includes teas, scones, pastries, and finger sandwiches. And we're a big fan of afternoon tea on most of our vacations we go on. We definitely enjoy an afternoon tea. And this was a pretty good one. It's done in one of the main dining rooms on most sailings. And, the food was really good. It was a decent afternoon tea. If you're not paying for it, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's not a traditional high tea. You don't get your tiers of treats and you don't get a little pot of your own tea. But as Aaron said, for something that's included, it's worth checking it out. The next one or place that's included is Alfredo's Pizzeria. Here they have gourmet pizzas. It was amazing. It is table service. This was definitely our favorite lunch place. The food was fresh. It's cooked to order. You can see the wood fire pizza stoves there. We would recommend making sure you go at the beginning of your trip because you're most definitely going to want to go back. We definitely did.
So on to the International Cafe. This is different depending on which cruise ship you're on as well. On a lot of the bigger ones, it's a 24-hour dining facility. Some of the smaller ones don't necessarily have one. The breakfasts here are great. They had donuts, which you cannot go wrong with. They also have paninis, salads, and other small plates. And all the food is included, and you can purchase specialty tea or coffee. On the Regal and the Royal Princess, they have this like tea tower where you can get different teas and stuff as well to purchase. And so International Cafe was sort of a mainstay for us. If you've got an early excursion or you're going to be late, then you can absolutely go there and grab something to eat. And they always had some really good food.
For the foodies out there, just so you know, International Cafe has donuts in the morning, and I was definitely known to sneak down there for a donut while Aaron was getting ready in the morning. So they were pretty good. May want to check them out. And as for the room service, it is available 24 hours, and it's free of charge. Other cruise lines will charge you a delivery fee, but not Princess. So you will have to pay for a pizza, pop, other beverages, and if you're doing the specialty balcony dining, which we'll talk about later. But if you're ordering food off their menu, then it is free of charge. Funny story with that, our brother-in-law, we were coming back to the room and some dude was getting 2 cookies and a glass of milk delivered. Yep, it went to our brother-in-law room. So like when we say free of charge for whatever you want, it's really for whatever you want. We also enjoyed getting the breakfast to the room. It's usually just a continental breakfast, but it did give us an option to eat something in our room while we were getting ready instead of tackling the busy buffet.
So that wraps up the majority of stuff that's free. There is stuff like the Trident's Grill and so forth that you have on the Lido decks where you can get hot dogs and hamburgers right there out by the pools. And that's pretty consistent on most of the ships. Again, decent hot dogs and hamburgers. Next, we're going to move on to specialty dining. So we're going to start off with Share by Curtis Stone, which is celebrity chef Curtis Stone's restaurant. It's a charcuterie, fresh salads, homemade pastas, premium quality meats, and decadent desserts. It's sort of an Italian style food. It's a 6-course meal, followed by a salad and handmade pasta. Main courses are from both sea and land or garden, and they do finish with a dessert. So since this is a specialty dining restaurant, it will cost you $29 US per person. And this is available on the Ruby Princess, Emerald Princess, and the Sun Princess.
Another restaurant is the Salty Dog Gastropub. So the food there is inspired by pub favorites, and it does have a pub atmosphere. The cover charge is only $12 US per person, and you do get a complimentary appetizer of Ernesto's dip sticks, which are crunchy bed sticks with beer cheddar fondue, and it's got flaked smoked salt. I would be all about trying that beer cheddar fondue. And some of the mains you can get are crab cakes, burger, and lobster mac and cheese. The ships that this is on is the Crown Princess, the Emerald Princess, the Ruby Princess. But some of the pricing can change. So it may not be $12 US on all of them, but it will be about that price.
So Sabatinis is a mainstay of your Princess cruise. It is on several Princess ships. It's Italian food with wine and cocktails. There's lots of opportunities to try this because it is on the Caribbean Princess, the Grand Princess, the Regal Princess, the Coral Princess, the Star Princess, the Golden Princess, and the Sky Princess. I'm sure it's probably on more, but those are the ones that it showed online. There is a $25 US cover charge, and it's fresh pastas made daily. We've always enjoyed Sabatinis. The food was always pretty fresh and a bit of a change. I wouldn't say that the food here is, completely different from what's in the main dining room, but it is really good, and it does sort of extend what's in the main dining room with more options to choose from, which is really nice.
Harmony is only available on the Majestic Princess. This is a Chinese restaurant, and the cover charge is $29 per person.
Next up is Bistro sur la Mer. This is a French bistro, so it's French-inspired foods, and it's available on the Majestic Princess, the Sky Princess, and the Enchanted Princess. It's a $29 US cover charge, and you can expect stuff like lobster bisque, roasted scallions, and beef filet mignon at this restaurant.
The Crown Grill is their go-to steak restaurant for sure. They do the cooked-to-order steaks and premium seafood. So the cover charge is their traditional $29 US per person, but for an extra $10 you can get another main, which isn't too bad for lobster. The other thing that they had with their steak was you could get a salt selection, which was awesome. We got to try all three, the Hawaiian black salt, the smoked applewood salt, and the Himalayan mountain pink salt. It was awesome to get to try all of them with the steak together. Very cool. And so there are a ton of opportunities to get to try this, the Crown Grill. It's on the Caribbean Princess, Crown Princess, Emerald Princess, the Golden, the Grand, the Regal Princess, the Royal, the Ruby, the Majestic Princess, and the Star Princess. So if you're looking for a steak restaurant, this would definitely be one to check out.
Next up is the Sterling Steakhouse, which is kind of like the Diet Coke of the Crown Grill. It's not quite as much in terms of what you can get there. It does have premium steaks that are cooked to order. There is a $29 US surcharge, and it is available on the Diamond Princess, Pacific Princess, Sapphire Princess, Sea, and Sun Princess. And you can expect here to have the sort of Horizon Court, the buffet area. They usually shut that down and turn it into a steakhouse on select days. So it's not usually its own restaurant. It's actually just a regular restaurant that's repurposed, and they serve steaks at. So again, it's kind of like a smaller version of the Crown Grill. It's not quite as its own restaurant usually. It's sort of just how they repurpose one of the dining areas, and they have less seafood and so forth, and it's more just steaks.
Another experience they have is the chef's table. This seems amazing. You actually get to go into the galley while it is the middle of their dinner service. So it's, well, all that insanity is happening down there. You'll get to go down, see what's going on, have some champagne and some hors d'oeuvres. Then you will go back up to the dining room where they've got a special area for you, and you'll get to enjoy a multi-course dinner paired with some wines. You can reserve this on the first day of your cruise, and they only take 10 people a night. So if this is something you're interested in, especially for set nights, you would want to do that. It is on the pricier side, the most expensive edition you can get at $95 per person. However, like looking into this, it seems amazing. So if you've ever tried this, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Did you think it was worth the extra $95 each, or is this something just to pass on and enjoy another dinner?
Up next is Kai Sushi, and this is a traditional sushi bar. You get to watch them make sushi and sashimi right in front of you, and it's available on the Diamond and Sun Princess, and it is an a la carte restaurant. So you will be paying per item that you order, and it can range in price as to what each of those orders are, but it's not like a flat rate just to get in.
The Bayou Cafe is a New Orleans-inspired cuisine. It has a cover charge of their $29, and you can get Mardi Gras peel and eat shrimp, seafood gumbo, cornmeal fried catfish, and they also have some different steaks like a bone-in New York strip steak. We really enjoyed it. We tried it on the Island Princess. The theming in the restaurant was awesome. The service was great. The food was made to order, so it was definitely a nice meal, something that we remember from that trip. It is only available on the Coral and the Island Princess.
Lastly, there's also the ultimate balcony dining option, where you start your day with a romantic breakfast or end it with an intimate dinner. The breakfast will include specialty pastries, fresh fruits, quiche, smoked salmon, and other special treats served with half a bottle of chilled sparkling wine. The dinner packages include champagne, a glass of wine or a cocktail, and a deluxe 4-course meal. For breakfast, this will cost $45 US, and dinner is $50 US, and this is available on all ships.
So we'd like to talk a little bit about the dress code. We do get a lot of questions about that. So Princess describes it as dressing as you would for a stylish land-based resort. So in the evenings, they have a smart casual dress code. So when you're going to any of the dining rooms, women, you can be wearing skirts, dresses, slacks, and sweaters. Men are to be in pants or open neck shirts. So that means no shorts. So you cannot be wearing any pool or beach attire, no shorts, a baseball hat, or casual jeans. So you can wear jeans as long as they are not fraying or have holes in them. So that's sort of the regular evenings. In any of the sit-down table service dining rooms. The buffet, there is a dress code, just no pool and beach attire. And for the formal nights, you will have one or more, depending on the length of your cruise. They do ask that you follow the formal dining room night dress code in all the main dining rooms and specialty dining rooms. So if you don't want to participate, you can go to the buffet or have room service. And for women, that means wearing evening gowns or cocktail dresses. And for men, it is tuxedos or dinner jackets and dark suits with a tie.
So on to tips. So one of the tips that we would have is do check your ship before sailing to determine what restaurants are on board. Not all of these restaurants are on all of the ships. We would also suggest that you check out the Princess Patter, which is the newsletter that you'll get to your room, and that'll tell you hours of operation, etc., who to call to make those dining reservations. So make sure you do that as well. Also, don't forget, order as much as you want. You're able to order as many meals for the most part as you would like. So if there's 2 things you might want on the menu, feel free to order both of those things or ask for a portion. They might be able to give you just a little bit. If you do have food allergies, do let them know before your cruise. If doing traditional dining, remind them on your first night. And if you're doing anytime dining, you'll need to let them know every time that you show up. They're not as good with allergies as something like Disney. However, they're pretty good and they will always try to remember your special dietary needs. Again, if you are doing traditional dining, since the waiter goes with you, they'll get to know you and get to know what you like. Lastly, ask your server for recommendations. We've met a few couples on board and they always went with the waiter's recommendations and they were always very happy with those recommendations. Don't forget as well to book your specialty dining ahead of time. You can usually book them on Princess's website and pay in advance. And then once you get on the ship, they'll give you a receipt. You just take that to your special time that you booked and they'll go ahead and let you in. And lastly, and this is something that we always tend to do, is try to remember to bring a travel mug or a reusable water bottle. We did put some links in the bottom below here. They are affiliate links. If you're interested in purchasing a water bottle, feel free to check the links below. We of course put one in that is flamingo specific because, as you know, we love flamingos.
So we hope this clarified any questions that you might have had about the food that's available on Princess and the prices that went along with it. If you do have any more questions, please do ask us in the comments below. We're pretty good about getting back to that, and the community is awesome at responding to questions as well. So if you've been to any of these restaurants and want to share your thoughts and experiences, we love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much to everybody who have subscribed and hit that like button. It really does mean so much to us. Thanks again for watching, and happy travels.